everybody, what's up? It's Kori. If you are around, jump on and join me. I was hoping to share this with my personal page, but there's been some internet issues. There's a storm happening here in Denver, so I'll have to share this later. But anyway, I'm super psyched to be here, and I've been wanting to go live at night, and so here I am, live at night. So tonight's topic is resolving the dissonance between where you are and where you desire to be. And I have studied a ton about our relationship with ourselves. It's something I'm super passionate about. And one thing that has surfaced in my own research on myself, as well as research in lots of different programs I've been a part of, as well as my background in psychology, is the times where we feel this disconnect between ourselves and our higher power, or ourselves and our true desires, this sort of conflict between where we currently are in our life and where we desire to be and the person we desire to be in our life. When we feel that dissonance, often we turn that on ourselves. And that dissonance really is an indication of there's some sort of discontent happening. And a lot of times this creates an inner hatred. We start to hate ourselves. We start to turn against ourselves. We start to get angry and resentful and even start to feel some animosity. And often what happens in that place is actually really an opportunity for us to awaken. But sometimes what happens when we feel that disconnect and that conflict and that dissonance between who we really are meant to be and who we are showing up as in our lives is we end up disconnecting even more. So we use any type of distraction we can because we're so uncomfortable with that feeling of this dis-ease, this discontent, that we search out, alcohol. Hey there, so nice to see you. Tell me who you are. Say hello. We often search out alcohol and food and media and shopping and gambling, any form of distraction in order to distance ourselves from our discontent with ourselves. And so it's interesting to me that this discontent is happening because we're disconnected from ourselves. And often what we do in those times is disconnect even more from ourselves, when it actually is an opportunity and a calling for us to actually connect deeper with ourselves. And so that's what I'm going to share with you today, is how to resolve that dissonance. And so instead of feeling like you have to run away because it's so uncomfortable and all the things that happen when we reach for our distraction of choice, what you can do instead so that you can start to bring some harmony into that dissonance. And so obviously, first of all, is to notice, why am I feeling this discontent? And where am I currently? And where do I want to be? And how can I start to bring some curiosity into this space versus criticism into the space? Because often the first thing we do is criticize ourselves. Why aren't I there yet? What is taking me so long? And is it even possible for me? And then once we kind of let ourselves entertain the idea of this is something that I do desire, then we get the inner critic saying, well, who are you to want that? And what are people going to think of you? And do you really have what it takes? Are you willing to do what it takes? And so we kind of talk ourselves out of it. And often, again, we search out to numb ourselves out from this uncertainty of if we're capable of it and what will happen if we do it and will people still approve of us and like us if we do it. Instead of reaching for the next thing to help us achieve that and accepting the challenge, basically, often we accept resignation. And that resignation is where we start to create even more dissonance with ourselves. Hey there. It's so nice to have you here and have you joining me. Say hello. So when you start to notice the dissonance, that's the biggest thing to do, is start to notice what I am finding and what I have found over different courses of my life, where I've transformed from body image issues and eating disorders into body acceptance and celebration and really dysfunctional, unhealthy relationships to really healthy and happy and harmonious relationships. What I have found is, and what I want to share with you about how you can start to bring some harmony into the dissonance, is bringing curiosity and appreciation to where you are. And so really, instead of this need to run away and to escape and to distract and to hate on ourselves for where we are, is to turn it around and to think, how can I bring some appreciation to this? Because this must be something for me. This must be preparing me for something big. And so what is it that I can love about the situation? So what is it that it is allowing me to see differently, to open up to heal in myself that will actually prepare me even better for what it is I truly desire? And so one thing that I've been playing with is, what if in order for us to reach that next level, to make that change that we desire, to be the person we're truly called to be, and we know deep down we're meant to be, what if we weren't able to make that change until we brought appreciation and acceptance for where we currently are? And then once you realize that, start just kind of like a truth rant, like if you've heard of any truth rants, where I love that I get to feel this place of discomfort because it's showing me what I truly desire, and it's actually showing me what I don't like, and it's showing me what I need to do to change. And I really appreciate that this is a time for me to really dig in and to explore some of the ways that no longer serve me, and that appreciate that I'm willing to start to let go of some of these old ways. And I appreciate that now I have the opportunity to explore some of my relationships and to see if I'm feeling like nervous or scared because of my relationships, and what can I shift about that so that I feel comfortable and confident in going after what it is I desire, even if it may not be approved of by my family or friends or community. And as you start to play around with that and start to see, okay, there are some things that are okay with where I am, instead of in that cycle of how much you hate it and how awful it is and how much you hate yourself for being where you are, is turning it around and seeing, okay, this actually is something I can find the gift in. And then the next step to even go even higher, because it's really getting out, is elevating those emotions. Because when we're in that negative space of despair and dissonance, we tend to be in some of the darker, low vibe emotions. And so spiraling up into appreciation is huge. And the next stage is then to think about, what would I feel? What will I feel when I am the person I truly desire to be, living the life I truly desire? What are some of the emotions and experiences I will be having? And really, naming and claiming that. So maybe it's a sense of freedom to fully be yourself, maybe for the first time. A sense of peace and ease that you don't have to struggle and hustle and fight and prove anymore. Maybe it's a sense of being supported in who you truly are and what you truly desire. Maybe it's a sense of joy and even more appreciation that you're living the life that you've always dreamed of. So you notice how you start to get yourself out of that place. And so instead of having to escape to alcohol or food, you elevate and ascend to a higher vibrational feeling, which is way better than the feeling you get from alcohol and too much sugar or too many purchases, whatever it might be for you. Okay, so once you do those two things, then the third phase, I keep saying phrase, the third phase of this is then to think about, okay, so this is where I want to be, and this is where I am. What is the connection here? What are some elements in my life now that I notice are in my life that I desire? And what this helps you see is that you're not as far off as you think. So we start to notice, there are some times where I feel joy where I am now. Or there are some elements and some experiences that I desire in my dream life that I'm noticing I'm having parts of that now. And it helps you, again, start to feel like you're not as far away, and you're actually on the right path, and you're getting closer. And the more you play in these higher level emotions, and the more you engage the imagination and let yourself feel and experience what you desire now, the quicker you will get from where you are to where you want to be, all the while appreciating exactly where you are. So, would love to hear your thoughts. Would love to hear your feedback after using this. And of course, if you are in a place where you're looking for support and ready to make a big shift in your life and know it would be helpful to have a guide along with you who's been there so that you can get there much more quickly with a lot less pain than I've had to go through to get to some of the changes I've made in my life, please reach out to me. I'd love to hear from you. You can just send me a PM and we can set up a call, and we'd love to support you in really becoming the fullest expression of you and living the life that you truly, truly desire, because you deserve it, and we all deserve it, And it's what we're called to do here, because that part of us that's calling for a highest expression is the greatest gift we can give our family and our friends and our community and the world ultimately. So, send you lots of love. Thank you for being here. See you again soon.